So you can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. And so if you would like to listen in a still position, just feel free to take all the time that you need to arrive there. And allow yourself to fidget as much as you need to adjust or stretch or move in whatever ways your body wants to move. As you do your best to not think about the movements, but letting all your movements be intuitive and more letting your body move you in the ways that feel good in your bones and muscles and joints. Not worrying at all about what the movements look like, but coming more fully into your sense of feeling and just following the yummy sensations that you may feel when you move the body in certain ways. Maybe rolling out the shoulders or the neck, the hands, fingers, wrists. Just trusting your instincts with movement. And if what your instincts are telling you at any time is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. And again, there's no rush whatsoever. You can continue to move throughout this practice whenever you feel the need to. But at any time, if you haven't already, you can make your way to a still position. As you just feel that the spine is nice and straight in whatever position you've chosen. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. As you take a moment now to mark your arrival into your practice today, mark your arrival into your body today with a full and intentional cleansing breath. As you call in fresh new air into the body and watch as you fill up to every corner and edge of you. As you hold that for a moment when you're full, to experience this sense of fullness in the body. And as you need to, slowly letting it all go. Exhaling bit by bit. As you gently pull the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment here to experience this sense of emptiness. As you allow your next breath to come as it's needed. And you can continue to breathe just like this for as many rounds as feels good and helpful to you. Not worrying about the actual length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses on either side, but just allowing each of these 4 parts of your breath to be exaggerated, whatever that means for you right now. And maybe you are in a place right now where you are feeling like your energy is scattered. Maybe like your awareness, your attention, your energy is going to all these different places outside of you. And if that is the case, maybe you can imagine your energy that's anywhere besides right here as a little string that's leaving your body and going to that external place. And you can imagine that these strings, as your body inhales, these strings are all turning around and just coming right back to you. So that as you inhale, you're calling your own energy back to you. Gradually getting more and more of your awareness to be focusing on you in this exact moment. And as the body exhales, allowing this energy to settle and ground you down into your body, wherever you are. Maybe you're in a place right now where you're feeling maybe like there's too much energy within your body. Maybe feeling kind of wrapped up in yourself and in the body. And if that is the case, you can imagine as your body exhales that anything that you no longer need, any excess energy, will naturally leave the body. Trusting that anything that is not meant to be within you will naturally leave when given that cue. And allowing your energy or any excess energy to leave you in whatever way it wants to. Maybe through the form of tears, or through a big sigh, a big exhale, an audible exhale. And maybe through screaming into a pillow or something else entirely different. Just allowing your body to let go of anything that you do not need right now. And if you haven't already, you can release this guidance over your breath altogether and feel yourself step back and up in the mind into the role of the observer or the witness. As you release all guidance over your breath and practice seeing your body breathing the same way that you watch waves as they roll up along the shoreline. Not trying to change anything about the size or speed of the waves, but just having a seat and watching each one as it comes and goes. Remembering how your body does breathe all on its own, even when you're in a deep state of sleep. Your body works hard for you to keep you alive. And there is absolutely nothing that is required of you to do right now. There is nothing that you should be doing or thinking about, as this is not a doing or a thinking process, but rather one of listening, feeling, watching, and observing. And taking on a curious perspective. Simply becoming curious about your own experience right now. Not trying to hold yourself to any expectations about how you wish you were feeling, how you think you should be feeling, how you would like to feel, and rather becoming curious about how you are feeling. Noticing any resting expression that is on the face right now. Even with the eyes closed, if you were to catch a glimpse of yourself in a mirror, what expression would be resting there? And what emotions could be communicated by this expression on the face? And just allowing your awareness of the tension gathering in these tiny muscles in your face be all that you need to instead allow these areas to release, to soften. Allow your jaw to hang into place as you release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And you feel the lips resting softly on one another as the chin softens a bit further. The nostrils, the cheeks and the ears relaxing a little bit deeper. All of the tiny muscles that exist along the lash line that will scrunch up when you squint, even feeling those soften as the corners of your eyes get a little bit wider, simply with this release. Feeling the hairline as it softens back, so that your forehead is wide and deep. As you allow that release to naturally trickle down the entire skull, softening the neck and the shoulders as well. As you allow yourself to exist in your body exactly as you already do. Remembering that it is safe for you to trust your own anatomy. Remembering that when you let go and soften your body, everything is held exactly where it needs to be. Even when you're in a deep state of sleep, your body functions perfectly to keep you alive. Your skin holds everything intact. The earth that is beneath you and the force of gravity all around you holds you exactly where you need to be. So seeing if for a moment you can allow yourself to be held. Remembering a time perhaps when you've hugged someone who you love dearly, or maybe an animal even. But just that moment in the hug where you exhale and let yourself be held. Let yourself be loved and protected. Just awakening that same sense with gravity all around you, hugging you close to the surface beneath you. Your own skin, hugging your muscles and bones close, protecting you. As you start to let more of your awareness start to make its way into your heart. As you gradually let more and more of your awareness rest on the rhythm of your own heartbeat. And you can always feel free to place one or both hands on top of the heart to just encourage that feeling from the outside as well, if that feels good. As you just tune in to this rhythm of your own life, the steady background beat to every single moment of your life. As you remember all of the love that has occurred, that has been required for you to exist right now. Generations upon generations of love, of life, of all of your ancestors that have existed and lived their lives, completed their lives, and passed on their life, making its way to you. And allowing your body to feel this, even if it's just for a moment, to feel this love and soften beneath this love. Allow yourself to be loved because you are. Even when it doesn't feel like it, the fact of your existence is the proof that you are deeply loved. And there is nothing you can ever do, or anyone can ever do, to take this away. It is a gift that comes included in this body and in this life. You are directly connected to the source that all love and life comes from. You are an extension of that source or force or whatever you believe allows all of our hearts to beat. Because you are alive, that means you are always directly connected to the source that all life comes from. And allowing your body to soften beneath this love, to exhale into this love. As you feel your pelvic floor and glutes soften a bit further, allowing the pelvic floor to be wide and long, as all the muscles down the legs almost roll off of the bones. as you feel all the muscles across your abdomen to release and rest on the organs, almost hugging them, protecting them. As you notice your heart and you trace that space from your heart up and through the throat into the skull, the base of the skull and the brain stem, and into the brain itself, into the mind. As you remember that your heart is innately connected to your mind. And fueling this connection between your heart and your head simply by being aware of it. Allowing your awareness to clear any blocks in this path between your heart and your head. As you trace that space back and forth between your heart and your mind. Just gradually getting the heart and the head more on the same page. As you allow all of the love and compassion and empathy that exists in your heart to naturally expand and feed into the mind, so that you may see yourself, your situation, and the world around you through this loving and compassionate lens that is in your heart. Just releasing a little bit more resistance. And just remembering that this rhythm of your own beating heart exists in your head as well. Maybe even feeling the rhythm of your beating heart in your head, in the space between the eyebrows and at the tip of your skull. Just becoming aware of the pulse that is in your head, the heartbeat that is in your head. As you let this constant, steady pulse be your own personal reminder of your power, of the power that comes included in your life, in your body, in your perception. The simple fact that you can feel the pulse in your body, that you can hear the words I'm saying and any sounds that you hear. The fact that you can see whatever it is you're seeing and smell, taste, and feel all that you are experiencing. This is a great power. It is of great value. There is not one soul out there who perceives the world and experiences the world exactly as you do. And however your heart wants to share, however your heart wants to create, however your heart wants to contribute to this world, is of value. And you can trust your own instincts, your own urges, the things that you feel drawn to for no apparent reason, the natural talents that you have. These are all things that we are meant to do. We are meant to feed our curiosities, our fascinations, our interests, to grow and expand our talents, to contribute to the world in whatever way we are meant to. That is completely specific and individual to you. And we will all move through seasons where we forget that we have this power. We forget that we are unique and valuable to this world. And that is okay. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It does not mean that you've done anything wrong. It doesn't mean you're being punished for anything. It simply means that you are human. You are a part of life. And absolutely everything in life moves through seasons of death and decay, as well as seasons of growth and expansion and blooming. And we are not meant to be blooming all of the time. And if we were, we wouldn't even like it. It would be average. It would be normal. We must experience the lows of life to fully appreciate the highs. Because what we feel is that contrast between the two. And so you can learn to accept and even at times appreciate the pain and suffering that you will experience, that you have already experienced and will continue to. Because without them, you would not know the highs, the joys, the love and connection. And so you can allow yourself to feel exactly as you do right now. You do not need to change yourself in any drastic ways. You do not need to disown yourself in order to grow in a different direction. But you are allowed to accept yourself fully for exactly who you are right now. Remembering that acceptance and accepting you does not mean that you necessarily like it or agree with it or want to be this way. It simply means that you acknowledge reality, which is the first and necessary step in any and all real change. And so you can accept and love yourself for who you are, for all that you've been through, and all that you will go through, to love and accept who you are right now, while at the same time having goals and aspirations to be someone different or to grow in a different direction. To love all versions of yourself, all versions of your past self have created exactly who you are right now. And all versions of your current self will contribute to who you will become. You are allowed to love yourself and show yourself that same love and appreciation that you show to anyone else who you love. You do not need to be hard on yourself in order to change. But you can embrace who you are and change in the process. We will always be changing. That is the only thing that we know for sure in this life, is that everything changes, especially ourselves and our feelings. And so you can take a moment now to just scan your body and notice if tension has crept back in any areas, as you remind those areas that it is safe to be soft once again. And just remembering the power that you have within your own mind, your own heart, your own body. Remembering that we can't always change our situations with ease. There will always be a period of time between when we recognize we want to make a change and when we actually have the strength and the power and the resources to make those changes reality. And so just being so kind and patient with yourself along all of your journeys of change that you're on. As you remember that while we can't always change our situations with any urgency or with any quickness, we can't always change the people we interact with on a daily basis, but we can change ourselves and our own reactions or our responses to our reactions. And when we converse with others, especially the people we have conversations with on a regular basis, we all get stuck doing the same dance. We are used to making a specific move, and that move triggers a specific response, and vice versa, back and forth, like ballroom dancing. And while we can't change anyone else, what we can do is notice that moment when we are about to make the same response that we've made hundreds of times, and instead choose a different response. Move in a different way, and seeing how that will naturally change the response that you get. We have the power to act in a different way if we choose, if we want to. If we can have that moment of awareness in the middle of an interaction, which is way easier said than done. So just being so kind and patient with yourself when you continue to make the same choices and the same responses that don't serve you. And just trust that with time, with small daily actions that better align with your own well-being, that better support your health, your interests, your fascinations and curiosities, that better support you and your journey. These small daily actions will naturally create a life that feels purposeful and good to you, and will also naturally give the people you interact with permission to do the same. And as long as we are all acting in the ways that are for the ultimate good, for our ultimate good, which will always be for everyone's ultimate good, even if it's not in that immediate moment. Ultimately, it will create a world that is purposeful and loving and full of connection and full of people's talents and contributions. And again, just being so patient with the process, so kind to yourself along the way. And so you can continue to soften your body. Continue to feel whatever is here for you to feel as you listen to the following words that are written by young Pueblo in his book called The Way Forward, which I will write in the chat so you don't have to remember that. But just allow anything that feels like it resonates with you to soak in a little deeper as you don't worry about the rest. "11 ways to support your evolution." Read more. Meditate daily. Say no more often. And be a clear communicator. Decrease your screen time. Let your top goals take priority. And connect with people who inspire you. Be kind, but don't be a people pleaser. And remember that rest supports creativity. Don't let your past control your present. And let go of competition so you can be yourself. Create what your intuition is asking you to create. Do this as an act of service. You have no idea whom you may end up helping, or even the lives you may save simply by following the truth of your heart. Don't let fear stop you from listening to your inner calling. Don't let an unclear path discourage you from taking steps into the unknown. The greatest you arises when you begin to embrace the space beyond your comfort zone. You don't need to have all the answers right now to eventually be successful. You just need to be willing to take one step at a time. Embrace the challenge and remember how strong you are and how much you've already overcome. You don't need to move quickly. Even slow movement will get you where you want to go. Let yourself live in your power. You hold a unique vision, and that is your gift to the world. And I'd like to add on to that, just that when you feel a sense of jealousy, maybe, or admiration, or when you look at someone and what they're doing, you want to be there too. That is such a gift, that feeling. It shows you exactly what your heart wants. If you have a feeling that you would love to do something, and maybe you don't even let yourself have that thought, maybe you write it off immediately because you think it's embarrassing to want that, or you think that other people or everyone wants that thing. So you want to be different and don't want that thing that you believe everyone wants. But if you feel that way, that is such a gift and a very powerful push in that direction. It is a clue that that is probably what you are meant to be doing right now. And there are many different things we will feel this way with. We are meant to do many different things with our life sometimes. And sometimes just a few things. But you can trust your intuition. And if you believe everyone wants to do a certain thing, I can guarantee you that's not true, because not everyone wants the same thing. And if you feel really pulled toward a certain thing, you can trust that pull. And I'm sure that that area of the world is where you will be of great service. The things that come natural to you, the things that are easy and that you enjoy, those are things that you should spend a lot of your time doing. And you can just take a few moments now to once again re-soften the body. Exhale into who you are right now. As you allow each and every word that you've heard today and every feeling that you felt today to act as a little speck of glitter in a snow globe that's been flying all around you. And now is the time where we set you down, let the glitter settle, and let the air clear. And feeling your heartbeat as it pulses through your entire body. The heartbeat that's in your toes, the heartbeat in the tips of your fingers, and the heartbeat in the tip of your head and every inch in between. The love that is in your heart is in your entire body. And you have the power to trust your own instincts, to listen to your heart. And you can trust that anything at all that you heard today that really resonated with you or struck a chord with you in some way, just trusting that that feeling sometimes comes when we hear on the outside what a part of ourselves already knows to be true on the inside. And so allowing these truths to be enhanced within you so that you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. And if it feels like something you would like to do today, you can bring your attention to the heartbeat in both of your hands as you let your hands find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. As you feel this heartbeat of your hands into one another, as you let your heart lift toward your thumbs, as your thumbs press back toward the heart. As you tune in once again to this rhythm of your own life. And now allowing yourself to take in one final deep and full breath into the body as you fill up to every corner and edge of you with fresh, new, energizing air. And as you exhale, letting go of anything at all that you're ready to let go of as you allow the head to gently bow. As you take this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and for taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you. Thank you, guys. If you would like to stay in this zone a little longer, you can feel free to float on out of here. So I'm going to read through these comments now. The staying calm around difficult people and not resorting to their bad behavior, that is a very difficult thing to do at times. And I was kind of addressing it when I talked about like the dance. How you can't always change the people who are around you and how they react or respond to you, but you can change your response and your move in the dance, and maybe it will trigger a different response. But I did mention in the last session these podcasts that I listen to, because I'm like kind of obsessed with like psychology podcasts and like specifically like couples, not necessarily romantic couples, but like relationship psychology. And there's a few podcasts I'm going to write in the chat. How's Work by Esther Perel. Well, she has two. How's Work is like couple counseling sessions between people who work together, like business partners. And it's so helpful to listen to. And then Where Should We Begin is also by Esther Perel. And that's couples, like romantic couples mostly. I think there's an episode that was like a mother and daughter, but a lot of it can be applied to many different situations. And then Stan Tatkin has a bunch of books that are super helpful, but Wired for Love is changed my life, basically. I'm probably going to read that like 30 times at least in my lifetime. It's a lot of ideas that you just don't hear a lot that ring as true to me and feel very helpful. So hopefully, I feel like if you vibe with me and the way my brain works, then you'll probably enjoy those podcasts as well. And I am listening to some new ones that I'm not entirely sure how I feel about them, but I'm sure I'll share them in a few weeks once I like have a better stance in my mind. But anyway, all of Young Pueblo's books are phenomenal. He has 4. Inward was his first one, Clarity and Connection, and then a memoir called Lighter, and then The Way Forward is his newest one. And if you just go to youngpueblo.com, it's spelt the way I spelt it, Y-U-N-G, youngpueblo.com, you can find all of his things. And he's coming out with an app. I believe it's called Ready. You can sign up for the wait list for it. That is like a dating app, but also like a home for relationships. So if you're already in a relationship, I have no idea what it's going to be like, but I really enjoy all the things he creates. So I'm assuming I'll enjoy this app as well. So if that's of interest to you, I'm sure there will be a lot of like-minded folk on that app. So yeah, totally resonated with not letting my past determine my future. Me too. It's they're just such helpful reminders. And the thing that's really magical about his books to me is that whatever phase of life you're in, whatever frame of mind you're in, when you read it, it affects how, like, what you take away. It affects how you receive it. And so I could read the same page on, 30 different times over the course of 30 different days, and I bet each time I'd get something slightly different from it. It's really profound. I feel like that's how like sacred texts are, like the Bhagavad Gita and the Torah, Quran, all of those books, the Bible. It's like whatever you like, they take different meanings. And I mean, I know that's kind of a lot to say it's like a sacred text, but it feels sacred to me. So yeah, I'm glad you guys like it too. Mike says, watched your video on wellness and self-blame last night. I remember that one. Thank you for watching that. Yeah, I have a whole playlist on YouTube called Ruthie Rambles, which is just hours and hours of me rambling. I think there's like over 40 videos on that playlist by now. And the most recent one I posted is me reacting to the first video I ever posted. So I feel like that video would be a good one. Like if you've never watched any of my videos, that would be a good one to start with, just because it's like, me 3 years ago and then me like last month. And I do my makeup in it and just share my health history and all the different surgeries I've had, which is, it's over an hour long. I've had a lot of surgeries. And yeah, the video he's talking about wellness and self-blame talks a lot about my thoughts on the yoga and wellness world, and how a lot of like the manifestation rhetoric, when you take that and try to apply it to like your chronic health issue, is super harmful. And I just would like to stop anyone from going down that path before they go down, if possible, because I was down that path for like 2-3 years and I'm still having to unlearn a lot of it, and it sucks. So I explain a lot more in that video, if that interests you at all. But thank you for scrolling through my archives periodically. And Mike, Ruthie promo, she has 348 videos on YouTube. Wow, I didn't even know that. About so much, including recordings of these lives. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Mike. Thank you so much. Michelle says, I often just open your random page and whatever I read resonates in that moment. Same here. It's just like, it's like tarot cards almost, you know. Which one, Ruthie? The video we should go see first. So, I mean, you can literally just pick any video, but the video that I just posted, I guess it's 2 videos ago, because I post all of the live meditation recordings, so that's what I post regularly. But the one I posted 3 uploads ago on February 7th, reacting to my first YouTube video after 3 years, living with a J pouch for 9 years and IBD for 13 years. That I feel like that would probably be a good one to start with, just because you can see the beginning and the current. And there, you know, there's like I said, 40 videos, more than that actually in between. But whatever you feel called to watch is what I would start with. But yeah, I appreciate any and all viewing. Thank you guys. I like the idea of being loved and appreciated just for being me. Yes. Oh, the way you phrased that reminded me of a really great one. How animals, like your dog, your cat, your animals are the constant reminder that it is possible to be loved and appreciated simply for existing, you know? That's like, we are the same way. You can be loved and appreciated just for existing. We are human beings. We don't need to do things in order to be appreciated. We're not human doings. I like that one a lot. I forget where that came from, but if you Google it, I'm sure it'll come up. And yes, chronic health issues, Ingrid, lots of it. I had ulcerative colitis, got diagnosed with that when I was 14, and then got my colon removed when I was 18. And I have a J pouch, and I've had a lot of surgeries since then. And yeah, I'm 27 now, so it's been quite a lot of time. But yeah, that's how I found all of this. That's why I am the way I am. And so I try to share a lot about that often because it helps. Your moon metaphor pops up in my thoughts periodically. Yeah, that is the best one. That comes from Hellenistic astrology. Adam Ellenboss was my teacher in that course a few years ago on YouTube. I'm typing that in the chat now. It's Nightlight Astrology is the other name for it. Nightlight Astrology, and he focuses on ancient Hellenistic astrology, and it's very different from like the modern personality style thing that modern astrology is, and it's amazing. He explains it as learning to speak the language of the divine, and that the stars are an ancient map of karmas playing out over time. So it's not like when the moon is in this house, it's making you do this. It's more like when there's these relationships between these planets in your chart, it signifies that these themes might be playing out in your work life, in your professional, like whatever area. And I love that approach to it. And Dee says, I'm going to start teaching online for Meditation Foundation. Awesome. Here in Tulsa in March. Thank you for your encouragement in that. Yes, someday Insight Timer. I love it so much, Dee. I know without a doubt that you will be of service in this world. I really, really, really can't emphasize it enough. I felt like I was listening to meditation on the Insight Timer, and I really, really wanted to put meditations on Insight Timer for like 5 years before I actually did, because of what I said in the meditation. Like, I just thought that that's what everyone wanted to do. And I was like, there's too many people doing it. I'm not needed. Like, everyone wants to do that. And I said that to one of my friends who's a teacher, and she was like, Ruthie, no, they don't. Like, not everyone wants to teach on Insight Timer. What are you saying? And then when she said it back to me, I was like, oh, duh. Like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But it's a clue. It's like a little clue that that's probably what you should be doing. And I'm so, so happy to hear that. And I encourage anyone and everyone who feels the urge to create YouTube videos or meditations or teach or wherever you're at to just do it. Because I'm sure that you will be of great service. And I'm sure there will be people there who are like, you're saying exactly what I need to say, like, or exactly what I need to hear. I think of it as like, there's like constant like messages, like maybe angels or whatever, I don't really know what, but messages that are trying to get to people. And we're so distracted all throughout our days that they just don't come in. And meditation time is like where you sit down, and I picture just like grabbing the messages and just throwing them down. Like they're not like my thoughts, you know, they're like things that are there that people need to hear, and just taking that time to say them. And I like that way of thinking of it. So, and yeah, I think that's all I got for you. I am editing my next YouTube video right now, and it's all about, I think I'm going to call it like daily happies, like things that you can do on a daily basis that will make you smile or bring a little brightness to your day. And included in that is, you know, long discussion, all the metaphors that I always say in these sessions that I love, and also how a big part about having like a happy life is also allowing yourself to be sad. Like you're not forcing yourself to be happy every single day or every single moment of the day at all, but just letting yourself feel the feelings that you're feeling. So that way, when you do experience happiness and when you do sprinkle in those things that make you happy, it has an even greater impact because, you know, you're letting yourself feel it fully. So I'm excited about that video. So that'll be up probably next week or the week after. Yeah. Okay. I talked for so long. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for being here. You can follow me on Insight Timer and listen to my meditations here and go see my live schedule and all of that. And subscribe to me on YouTube if you feel like it. That would be awesome. And thank you for any and all donations whenever. They really are amazing and help support me and motivate me to do these lives. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. And I hope to see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.